Hello guys, welcome. Today what we will be doing is just a run through of some CXC Physics paper 1 question to prepare you for the multiple choice exam. Question 1. Which of the following groups of quantities contains one which is not an SI base quantity? Mass, length, time, current, temperature, length, or volume, temperature, time, or D, time, mass, temperature. And that's mass, temperature, and time. Question 2 says 3.1415926 expressed as two significant figures is, and that's 3.1. Question 3 says the symbol for the unit of moment of a force is, and that's Newton meter. Unit 4. Question 4 says the unit of electrical resistance is expressed as, and that's A. Question 5 says the time period of a simple pendulum oscillating with a small amplitude depends on the length of the pendulum. Question 6 says three immiscible liquids P, Q, and R have different densities. Q is denser than P but less dense than R. Which of the following diagram shows how the liquid settle in the measuring cylinder? And that's A. Question 7 says a bus with luggage loaded on top is more likely to tip over when rounding a corner than the same bus without the luggage. The reason for this is that the luggage basically raises the center of gravity. Item 8 refers to the following diagram. It says a uniform rod XY of weight 40 Newton is held in equilibrium horizontally, as shown in the diagram above. Which of the following is true? And we can see that T1 is greater than T2. Which of the following is used to calculate the efficiency of a machine? And that's load times distance moved by effort divided by effort times distance moved by load times 100%. So that's A. Items 10 to 11 refers to the following velocity time graph, which shows a ball being thrown vertically upwards from the ground. Downward motion is assumed to be positive. So this is the velocity time graph that we're using. And question 10 says the point X on the graph shows when the ball is, so we're talking about this point here, and that's A, at the highest point above the ground. Question 11 says the gradient of the line PQ represents they're talking about line PQ. It represents the acceleration of the ball as it's moved. Item 12 refers to the following diagram. X, Y, and Z are three billiard balls of equal mass whose center lie in a straight line. Y and Z are touching each other and are stationary. X, traveling with a velocity of 20 meters per second, impinges on Y. Assuming that the pairs are perfectly elastic, the resultant motion after impact is, and that's X and Y remain stationary while Z moves on with a velocity of 20 meters per second. Question 13 says, item 13 refers to the following diagram which shows two positively charged spheres, A and B, suspended by an insulating thread. Okay, so if the sphere come to rest as shown in the diagram, the force keeping them apart is and that is electrostatic force. Question 14 says, which of the following tools are designed to take advantages of a large moment provided by a relatively small force? And this. And that's I, and IV. So that's D. That's all except 3. Which of the following is a unit of work? And that's Newton meter. Question 16. When a car is moving at a constant speed, the energy changes occur are chemical energy, kinetic energy. Item 17 refers to the following diagram which shows a dam. The pressure on the dam at the bottom of the reservoir depends on the depth of the water. Question 18 says a piece of string is tied onto a small stone and the stone is then suspended totally immersed in the water. The tension in the string will be, and that's C, less than the weight of the stone. Okay, so question 19 says a solid object when placed in a beaker of water just sinks to the bottom. Which of the following should be done to make the object float? And that's 2, dissolving a lot of salt in the water. Question 20. Item 20 refers to the following diagram. 24 centimeter cubed of air pressure P are trapped in the syringe which is blocked at X. The piston is forced to the 8 centimeter cube mark. The new pressure in terms of P is, and we're supposed to assume that temperature is constant, and that's 3. Question 21 says, in the pressure law, which of the following would be true? And that's 1 and 2. So our answer is C. Question 22. Which of the following are characteristic features of a clinical thermometer? Narrow constriction in tube just above the elbow, limited range of temperatures. And that's B. Question 23. Which of the following are reason why a hot liquid placed in a double-walled vacuum flask retains its heat for a long time? And the answer for that is, of course, A. Question 24. Which of the following is longitudinal in nature? And that's sound waves. 25. Which of the following graphs illustrates the variation of pressure P with volume V of a gas obeying Boyle's law? And our answer is D. Question 26 says, a gas is much easier to compress than a solid or a liquid because the gas molecules, they have no forces between them. Question 27 says, a fixed mass of gas at constant temperature is compressed. The molecules of the gas they will hit the sides of the container more often. Question 28 says, which of the following waves have the greatest amplitude? And that's C. We can see the amplitude right here. So that's C. Question 29 says, which of the following is the correct relation between the wavelength, speed, and the frequency of a wave? And that's B. Question 30 says, an electric current in a metal consists of a flow of, and it consists of a flow of electrons. The spreading of a wave into the region behind an obstruction is called, and it's called diffraction. Question 32 says, a loud high-pitched note results from a wave that is of high frequency and a large amplitude. Question 33 says, in domestic installation system, which of the following should be placed in the live wire? And we should place switches, circuit breakers, and fuses. So that's I, and I. So that's D, all of them. 34. Question 34 says, which of the following are the same for all electromagnetic waves traveling through a vacuum? And that's speed. Which of the following diagrams does not illustrate what happens when a ray of light meets an air-water boundary? Which of the following does not? And the answer for that would be B. Question 36 says, which of the following would be the unit of the heat capacity of an object? And that's C. 37 says, which of the following is not one of the ways in which strength of the magnetic field near a solenoid or a long coil carrying a current can be increased? And that's A, increasing the resistance of the coil. Item 38 refers to the diagram below, which shows the magnetic field lines plotted by a student. In which of the following diagrams are the magnetic field lines plotted correctly? And it's plotted correctly in all of the diagrams above. 30. Which of the following is equal to 1 kilowatt hour? And that's D. Question 40. Each prism or mirror of a periscope turns light rays through an angle of, and it turns through an angle of 90 degrees. Okay, question 40 says, which of the following relationship between electrical quantities is correct? and that's C. Question 42 says the speed of light is highest when it passes through, and that's when it passes through a vacuum. Total internal reflection in a medium occurs only when the angle of incidence is greater than the critical angle. 44. The refractive index of a transparent medium with a critical angle C for light traveling from the medium to air is, and the answer is C, that's sine 90 over sine C. 45 says magnetic induction occurs when, and our answer is B. Which of the following characteristics concerning ammeters is correct? And that's A. Item 47 refers to the following diagram. The diagram above shows the inside of a 3-pin electric plug. The wires are labeled F, G, and H. Which of the following is true? And of course, our answer is A. Question 48. Which of the following circuits can be used for half-wave rectification? And that's D.